Meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we've got cloudy skies in downtown St. Louis, 56 degrees. The weather sponsored by SNL Coin. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Every weekday from 12 until 1, it's the Gashouse Gang. And today, and usually on Friday, we have Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley, and Chris Ranji with you. It's good to have you with us. 314-436-7900. On the show today, we are going to talk to Vince Pellegrino, the Vice President of Tournaments with the Western Golf Association. The BMW Championship is coming up next year at Belle Reeve, so we are going to talk to Vince about that. But, guys, I wanted to start, just to sort of go over yesterday and our 100th anniversary celebration for KMOX, 100 years on the air, and a lot of really good sports programming happened. Starting in the afternoon, listening to Claibs and, listening to John Rooney and Joe Buck and Randy Carricker back in studio. I mean, guys, yesterday was a really, really fun day.
Yeah, it was the ultimate homecoming. And I thought the best indicator was so many people who came in that we haven't seen in a long, long time because they moved on. A lot of them just stuck around. And we was just catching up with each other, and that was fun. It was great to see everyone. I got a kick out of hearing Ken Wilson, old baby, and it was a good day. Really
Ron Jacober here with me yesterday. Yeah. I mean, so it was, and Ron, and I said this yesterday, he was one of the reasons I got an internship at the station.
So we owe him.
Yeah, you owe. Hey, if you got a problem, you take it up with Ron Jacober because it's his fault.
All right.
I was thinking throughout the day how many people came through who at one point in time had been Sports Open Line host, because that's the role that I'm in right now. Randy Carricker was here. Kevin Wheeler obviously did it. Claibs, you've been involved in Sports Open Line. There was just John Rooney has done stuff. I mean, there was just there were a half. We had Dan Deerdorf on. He has certainly hosted his fair share of Sports Open Line. So it was really cool for me, just the legacy of that program being the first ever sports talk radio program in our country, and the fact that it's still going today. And then you get that that real visual illustration of all the people who have hosted that show as it has continued on. And that was part of the coolness of yesterday for me as well.
The most common number you'll ever hear is 436-7900.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And sports on a Sunday, too, isn't it? The longest running sports show in the country? It's something
I can't
like
think of
that.
anything
Yeah.
that I mean, I think that's the other thing. You have to do sports on a Sunday at some point in your career also. But I would think it has to be the longest running.
It's been going on for so long.
I mean, they say it about Meet the Press. So,
right.
So we can go with that.
And I mentioned Jacober. I remember listening to him a long time ago do that
As
show.
a child, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, it's such a great station, legendary, and it will always be. And thinking about, my hour yesterday was Blues Talk. So I had Ken Wilson on. We talked about Dan Kelly, the legendary Dan Kelly. So John Kelly with us, Dan Jr. on the show, and Joe Buck was on prior to that. How fortunate and John Rooney now, we are so fortunate to have play-by-play announcers in this city who have been spectacular at their jobs. I think in St. Louis, we've been very, very lucky over the decades.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. And you pick the sport, and you can name a person that's associated with that sport that had come through this building, or the one on
Bob Costas. Yeah.
I mean, you name any sport, and you can take it to another level, and they're going to be nationally recognized for what they've been able to do. And a lot of their careers started right here.
We had both Bob Ramsey and Mike Kelly on in our hour yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I mean, those are two guys who are doing it at the highest
Mike
level.
And Billick and Bob.
As a young kid growing up, those are probably the two individuals that most impacted my play-by-play journey, and I don't do as quite as much play-by-play now as I used to, but I've done a lot of Division I college basketball play-by-play, and I think if you were to listen to my play-by-play, if you were to name two people who influenced it the most, it's Mike Kelly and it's Bob Ramsey, and it's because of Mizzou and SLU, and a lot of those games have aired right here on KMOX.
I started doing SLU games with Bob Ramsey in the Billiken days, of the heydays of Bonner and Rich Grauer and everybody. And to this day, he's my best friend, because then when we traveled with the team, you didn't have your own room. You had a roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And Rammer was my guy. And we had so much fun. And, probably a guy I talked to every other day for some reason or another. But, yeah, you think about Rammer. I think this is year 40 for Rammer for St. Louis U. And Tiger Mike's been at Mizzou ever since he left here. So he's had a pretty good run also.
Bob Ramsey joins this show every Monday at 12:30, and just talking SLU with him it's a pleasure. And you guys hosted a show together for a long time.
Oh, yeah, we started talk radio, sports talk radio.
At 590.
KASP. No, it was 1380.
Before that.
Yeah, before that. And that floated for about a year and a half, and it went under, and then KFNS was created later, and we were doing a show. We did morning drive at the other station, the first station, and then we did afternoon drive, which was a riot. I mean, we were literally throwing stuff on the wall to see if it could stick, and a lot of it did. And I think it was one of those situations for me. I never left the studio without laughing about something that we'd done, and a lot of this stuff would just happen. And Rammer, to me, is the best talk show host. If you call him and make a dumb statement, he will ask you a series of questions, and the more questions he asks, the more dumber you sound. And then he'd say, so really, Chris, what you're saying is you're an idiot. Well, yeah, okay. And then he'd say, thanks for your call. And he is still the best at that.
Bob Ramsey, he's fantastic.
That's where I first met Claves, because when I was in high school, I was a board operator over at KFNS, and I started doing the weekend overnight shift. My parents allowed me to do it, and I got to do a little bit more. But that was that's when I first met Claves, when I was in high school working as a board operator at KFNS when he was doing afternoon drive.
I think my claim to fame is I've worked with just about everybody twice, at least twice in this business, somewhere, someplace, sometime.
I think I told you this. I think it was in high school, or maybe was home visiting while I was in college. And I went to lunch with my mom at a place by the brewery.
Lynch Street Bistro.
I think so. It's closed now, or it was closed for a while.
Mm-hmm. No, it's closed.
And a couple of tables over, I see Mike Claiborne. I didn't go talk to him, but I'm like, oh, my God, that's Mike Claiborne. I remember that. And
I didn't
I think
blow
my
you
mom
off
said,
or anything.
No, I didn't. I don't
do it. I don't do it, but
I don't think I gathered the courage.
Look, man, I'm the easiest person to.
Well, I know that now.
Lynch Street Bistro, one of the greatest restaurants, is no longer with us.
Yeah, it's the brewery, parking lots, and then this place
right on the corner.
Yeah, it's a
great food. I was with the former general manager Rick Sparks, who is now at John Minio's in Town and Country. I was with him the other night. We were having Lynch Street Bistro stories going back and forth.
Yeah, I just remember that place being really cool, and I'd only been there once. Yeah. So yesterday, if you did miss anything from the all-day broadcast, there's just a lot of KMOX memories, and we honored all of those, the pioneers who came through. You can read about them at KMOX.com, and you can go back and listen to the all-day broadcast. Yesterday was a really great day for us as we celebrate 100 years.
And kudos to Steve Moore for coming up.
He put the whole thing, man. Yeah. He did so much work.
So much, man. And I don't know if anybody else could have put that together, but he did a great job.
I left I wrapped up Sports Open Line on Wednesday night. He was still in the building, and then we got an email from him about 5:00 in the morning. I don't think he slept leading into yesterday.
I don't think he ever sleeps.
He's like Bob Hyland. Hyland never slept.
I've heard that.
You could, if you wanted to talk to him, just show up about 2:30 in the morning. He's sitting behind his desk in a suit, and that's when when you wanted a raise. That's when you go talk to him. He went to talk to him during the day. He had no time for such foolishness. But I remember one time I was trying to get a raise. I think he and I were the only two guys sitting in a shirt and tie and a suits at 1:30 in the morning.
Probably anywhere.
Anywhere in the world. But no, he didn't sleep either, man. But he knew what was going on in the station because he would hire people who was, in a lot of cases, maybe they were vision impaired, and they would be at home and they would listen to all the shows. And they would let him know about this, let him know about that when he wasn't able to listen himself. Never went to baseball games because he was superstitious. Always went to the Big Red games. He had a little box. He would sit there and watch the games. But he never went to baseball games because he thought it was bad luck for the Cardinals. I don't know why he came up with that, but you never saw him in a game. No, he would show up for opening day. He'd show up for opening day before the game started, and then he'd skedaddle.
Love a good superstition. I love it.
Are you superstitious?
No, because every time I notice that I have one and then it doesn't work, then I immediately drop it.
Okay. What about you, Matt?
I mean, when it comes to baseball, you'll never hear me say, man, this game's going fast tonight.
Okay. Well, hold on. But nowadays, they always go fast.
Yeah,
2.5 hours.
Listen, man,
but
I've seen that too many times. Man,
true.
this game's going quick. All of a sudden, here comes the rain, or it goes to a snail's pace, and the next thing you know, it's 11:45 p.m. and we're still there. No, you're right, Matt. That is the true taboo.
Never. You
talk
sit in
about
the broadcast booth the moment you say, hey, this game's really moving. Everybody goes, come on, man. Come on. It happens every time. I'll tell you what. So I don't at all believe in the no-hitter thing. I know that some broadcasters don't like to mention it. I've heard Vin Scully very directly mention a no-hitter going on, and it doesn't do anything. So I'll take my cues from him, right? And I was calling a game. Guy named Gavin Floyd was in the 8th inning, I think, throwing a no-hitter. And I happened to be doing play-by-play for that game. And I'm not kidding you. I said, well, Gavin Floyd's got a no-hitter through 7. And when I say the next pitch, I'm telling you the next pitch.
Mrs. Floyd.
Line drive, base hit.
Mrs. Floyd, Daddy Floyd, everybody's looking one piece of you.
Line drive, base hit into right center field. I went, well, guess I spoke too soon. It was, and I don't believe in the superstition at all, but
Well, we had
I felt pretty bad about
no-hitter
that one.
going in St. Louis a few years ago. It's the first time it had gone this long. Kyle Hendricks was throwing a no-hitter against the Cardinals. Yeah. And I was trying to find out, last time a visiting pitcher threw a no-hitter was like in the 20s. In St. Louis. So I was standing there about to go on the field. This is the 9th inning. And I said to somebody, we'll break this one up right here. Jeremy Hazelbaker. And this guy turned around and said, how could you do that? The next pitch, Hazelbaker hit it into the seats for a home run. There goes the no-hitter. There goes the shutout. And I think we may have even won that game. But this guy looked at me, man, like I had just done something all up and down his leg. I mean, he was hot. He was hot.
Was he a Cardinals fan?
No, he's a Cubs fan.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, he doesn't understand. You can't do the reverse superstition.
Exactly.
You can't force it on the other team.
I think that's the last time I've ever mentioned Jeremy Hazelbaker's name. I had no other reason to say it.
I'd forgotten about him until you mentioned it. Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley, Chris Ranji on the Gashouse Gang. Again, we're going to talk about the BMW Championship with Vince Pellegrino. That's coming up at 12:30. But right now, we have a pair of tickets to give away to see Guns N' Hoses November 26th at Enterprise Center. And they are brought to you by Backstoppers. So here's what we need. Caller number 6 to the contest line at 314-955-1120. You'll win those tickets. You must have a valid email address to win. It's the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. I've spent a lot of Sundays right here playing in front of the best fans in football. And now it's almost your turn to get in the game because DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Show Me State on December 1st. Soon you'll get fast payouts when you win, a safe and secure app that's easy to use, and promos that keep the action going all season long. It's America's top-rated sportsbook app. New customers can sign up right now and score $300 in bonus bets on launch day, December 1st.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers, sign up today and score $300 in bonus bets once we're live. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO, or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Glover here from my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, this is John Kelly. Congratulations from the Kelly family to KMOX Radio. 100 years strong as the voice of St. Louis.
Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Got Mike Claiborne and Matt Pauley here. As we sit here on November 21st, we're less than a week away from Thanksgiving. And first of all, I'm looking at STL today. I just happened to glance down and see a story about Matt Pauley. He's right here after his health emergency, where he almost died.
I don't think I almost died.
I think. Well, I missed this. I missed this earlier. It's Dan Caesar wrote about you.
He did. It was a scary situation for sure. But yeah, have a lot of people reached out today, which I appreciate.
Well, attaboy, Matt.
We're just
you made
glad
the
to
paper.
have you here.
I'm alive. I'm kicking. I'm good.
I don't know what we would have done if you wouldn't be here.
I got a full tank of blood in my body, so I'm good.
He sent the photo, and you ended up tweeting the photo of you with blood all over your face. And just Matt had.
I just thought he was late getting home, and his wife.
But she got to
exactly,
him. I thought he was in a car wreck. He had a minor surgery, and it didn't go well, and couldn't stop the bleeding because of Matt has hemophilia. He's talked about that on the show. But anyway, I saw the photo, and I thought, oh God, Matt Pauley either got punched in the face, the guy from Kentucky that you had a problem with in the Cardinals caravan found you, or there was a car accident. But you're okay.
I'm good. I'm all good.
All right. Hey, guys, do we want to talk Blues or?
Why not?
What's going on, man? Another loss last night in overtime. And they got a point, but.
Yeah, but this is, that old adage, you got to play 60 minutes of hockey, and they just can't put it together. And just when you think they're turning the corner, something else pops up. I think the first thing most people say, we got to make a move. We got to do something. Yeah, but what do you do? I mean, you can blame the same usual guys. You can say, hey, we got to get more out of Kyrou, Thomas. Okay, I get all that. But you have bigger issues at your blue line because you only really have 4 defensemen you can trust. And they've got to figure out who your back-end guys are going to be as far as picking up minutes. But I like Jim Montgomery's approach. I don't think he's the problem. No. I think when you have some guys that have been on your team, they've gone through, 3 coaches now? Now they're on their 4th coach?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the problem.
If you're a common denominator, you might be.
Yeah. So, they play the Islanders tomorrow. That'll be an interesting test. But they're not as bad as they appear to be. And I don't think they're as good as we thought they would be. If that makes sense.
Well,
I don't think they have a dominant superstar, number one line guy that when he hits the ice, you better pay attention to him. They don't have that. They have guys who we thought had that potential, but they haven't lived up to it.
Claibs, if you took Jordan, is Jordan Kyrou the most skilled goal scorer they have on the team? I would agree.
Yes.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What line is he on if he's a Colorado Avalanche?
Probably third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the roster. So that's the first thing. The frustrating thing, they have 2 versions of a game they play. Either they have a hot start like they did last night, and then they give up multiple goal leads and end up losing, or they have a terrible start. They get in such a hole that they play some of their best hockey for the final period and a half, but it's not enough for them to come back and win. That's what they do. Every single game, one of those 2 things happens, it seems like.
No, you're spot on, Matt. And I don't know how you get their attention at this point. I was talking to Jim Montgomery about how do you get a player's attention these days? And, obviously you can bench him. There's only so many tongue lashings you can give a guy. And if you bench him, then who's going to replace him? Because then the talent level drops off. So you're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Although I thought when he benched Kyrou after the Washington game, I thought that was an interesting message because if you can't single out your best players, they have to take the heat. If you can't single them out, then who are you coaching? Because most coaches will coach 4 or 5 guys and everybody else follows. In this situation, he tried to get Montgomery's attention because it was funny. Kyrou's attention. But the funniest thing about it was he said there were 2 other guys I sat out the next game too, and they were worse than Kyrou. And nobody's asking one question about why aren't these guys playing? So it's a tough situation. I know they want to go on this long road trip and they can bond and go to dinners and things like that together. I don't know how much it's going to help, but they've got to do something differently.
I think that stuff is made up narratives because when things are not going well and something different happens, then you try to use that different thing as being a reason that it's going to change. So it just so happened that they were about to go on their longest road trip of the season. So, let's turn this into we can all come together. Well, if it was the exact opposite, if they had played 3/4 of their games on the road this year and they were about to come home for a long homestand, then the stupid narrative was going to be, well, this is a chance for us to all come together as we play a bunch of home. It's all made up. It's all made up. Just play better hockey.
Yeah. It's us looking for answers.
Yeah.
Because nobody has any.
No.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, the game of excuses, and Matt, what you just said is something they were saying 30 years ago and 30 years before that. I mean, when these teams struggle, it's the same lines you hear, and it doesn't make a difference who the coach is, who the player is. This is the fallback that they all go to.
Mitchell is watching us on YouTube and says, have them bond. It's basically the same team as last year, which is true. I mean, if you're not already bonded,
I agree.
What's the problem? And I don't think you can coach this out of them. It seems there are just times in sports where it's individual responsibility.
They need a big gathering, a big brawl or something just to see who really wants to be here.
With each other?
Well, I'm not opposed to that either if it's going to help them play better.
Whatever works,
I lock the door to make sure nobody leaves.
And I know somebody suggested maybe they're just bad. Maybe the team is bad, and I guess that's possible, but I can't recall the team. I'm trying to think of one right now that was so much worse than what we thought they were going to be at the start of the season. They got off to this kind of start, and I'm talking any sport. I can't remember a Cardinals team like this.
Oh, the 72-win team, we had high expectations for them.
Did we?
Yeah.
All right.
Coming off the Albert and Yachty, yeah.
Okay. Matt Pauley, thanks for hanging out with us again. And you've got Redbird Rush Hour today?
Yeah.
5 o'clock?
Yes, 5 o'clock.
With?
With Kevin Wheeler. And a little bit of Sports Open Line before SLU basketball. There you go.
Building basketball on KMOX.
That's right. It's KMOX. We'll talk golf next.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life. Not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Cloudy and 57 degrees in St. Louis. Might see some rain a little bit later on tonight, a low of 46.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER. You could think you found your dream home online. The kitchen island looks perfect for your inner chef. The backyard, a paradise for your green thumb. And that extra room, hello walk-in closet. But here's the twist. The lot next door just got rezoned for years of construction. And this sound, yeah, you're going to be hearing a lot of that. Don't let your dream home turn into a nightmare. Work with the expertise and ethical training of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect you from the surprises you didn't see coming. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors, right by you.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan.
Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Tonight, it's men's Billikens basketball as they face Purdue Fort Wayne. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM KMOX.
For the first time since 2008, the BMW Championship is coming back to Belle Country Club here in St. Louis. And to discuss that with us is Vince Pellegrino, who is the Vice President of Tournaments with the Western Golf Association. And again, that 2026 BMW Championship happens August 17th through the 23rd at Belle Country Club in 2026. Vince, we appreciate you being with us. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We're really looking forward to being back in St. Louis next year at Belle Reve. We had a wonderful tournament there last time we were. It's been a while, but yeah, we're looking forward to getting back, and it seems like the golf fans of St. Louis are excited about it as well.
And when you throw in the impact that this particular tournament has, it really kind of shapes up how the season winds down. Having the BMW Championship in St. Louis in August, I mean, that's going to be a really special time, which means you're going to have the best in the world showing up.
Yeah, it's a top 50 players in the FedEx Cup, and essentially it's a playoff event. It's the second playoff event out of 3. So we got the top 50 who ultimately will try to qualify for next week's championship. The top 30 will move on to the Tour Championship. But yeah, the best of the best, Rory and Scotty and Tommy and JT and Morikawa, are mainstays on the PGA Tour, and they're going to be back, hopefully, depending on how they play, throughout the course of the year. But yeah, it's a top 50. It's a playoff event. So there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot on the line.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest tournaments, too, on the PGA Tour schedule. It's going back to but before 1900. So, I mean, this thing has been around for a very long time, Vince.
Yeah, it has. So, it dates back to 1899 when we were the Western Open, which is the oldest PGA Tour tournament on the schedule. You guys know it. The old Western Open used to be at Butler National in Chicago and Cog Hill forever. And then, in 2007, we started rotating the championship around as the BMW Championship to different markets. It's been wildly successful to take it to, markets like St. Louis and Indianapolis and Denver, and come back and forth in and out of Chicago, which is, where the Western Golf Association's home is. So it's an old championship, but it's kind of rebranded as a PGA Tour playoff event moving forward. So it's we're in a special place in the calendar.
Well, it's good to have you back in St. Louis. And I recall in 2008, the rush for tickets for that event, and hopefully we'll see the same thing coming about at this time in 2026. How can people get tickets?
Yeah, we already are seeing it. We broke. We had some record-shattering pre-sale opportunities earlier this week, and we've sold more tickets than any PGA Tour event has in the history for a one-day pre-sale, which is amazing. That just really goes to show how golf-starved St. Louis is, and what a great championship this is going to be. We've opened up ticket sales to the public yesterday, and they're going fast. But essentially, go to BMWChampionship.com. Very simple, BMWChampionship.com, and we really have any kind of ticket you look. you would want. Grounds tickets, upgraded tickets to get into, a air-conditioned pavilions, all the way up to a premium hospitality tickets. So there's kind of a gift for the holidays for anybody in your, in your life that's a golf fan. So it's just bmwchampionship.com.
And also, it's even easier to get in. And I've seen that you've got a deal for people with kids. Is it 15 and under, right? That they can get
correct.
in?
Yeah. So, I'm not sure how many sporting events or major sporting events you go to that kids are free, but 15 and under receive complimentary admission, when they're with a ticketed adult. So that's a really nice perk. And we also have tickets for active duty retirees or active reserve and veterans of any branch of the military service also will receive complimentary tickets to the event. So it's a couple special things that, we're really passionate about is, introducing kids to the game of golf. And then obviously our military veterans, active and retirees are important to the PGA Tour and to the Western Golf Association.
We're talking with Vince Pellegrino. The BMW Championship is coming to St. Louis, Belle Reve Country Club in August of 2026, bmwchampionship.com if you want to get tickets for it. And where is, just looking over the sport right now, because we know some of the bigger names, and, since Tiger Woods has gotten toward the tail end of his career, the game is different. What is the health of golf right now, the way you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way we see it is that there is a ton of young and up and coming players on the PGA Tour that it's not dominated, by a Tiger or a Jack like it was. Scotty, I would say is a pretty dominant force. But you see up and coming players like Ludwig Oberg, who is a younger player who has been playing well, kind of on and off. You're still going to have your mainstays like Rory McIlroy and, like I mentioned earlier, Justin Thomas and Colin Morikawa. But I think the strength of the game, the depth of the game is very strong with some of these up and coming younger players. And, the beauty of the championship that we have is that as these younger players continue to play and play well to earn their PGA Tour card, you'll see them at our championship. And the good thing about our tournament is that you're going to see them all 4 days. So, not just if they miss the cut on Friday where, they're going to not be there for the weekend. You're going to see if Scotty's in the field, he'll be there all week. If Ludwig Oberg's in the field, he's going to be there, for 4 days, which is really, really kind of unique to our championship. But I feel like the PGA Tour is very strong. I think they're continuing to figure out that the strength of the tour is in the top players and getting the top players in the game playing together more often. So I think you're going to see some changes coming down the pipeline, with some new leadership at the PGA Tour, but I think it's all going to be for the good.
Yep. Scotty Scheffler won this thing about 3 months ago, and it is coming to St. Louis next year, August 17th through the 23rd at Belle Reve Country Club, the BMW Championship. We appreciate your time, Vince. Thank you for being with us today and talking it over.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. We appreciate it.
Vince Pellegrino, Vice President of Tournaments with the Western Golf Association. Again, Belle Reve Country Club, the site of the BMW Championship next year. You can go ahead and get those tickets, bmwchampionship.com. You went by the PGA Championship when it was here, right?
Yes.
Back in 2018?
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
I was there in 91 or 92 when it was here in St. Louis as well. It has a different feel. Belle Reve is a huge course, and it's probably one of the few courses that could house an event of this size. It's a lot of fun, and I think what Vince makes a great point. You're going to see the best players playing compared to some events where maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't. There's something at stake here, so I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun.
Yep. I am not the biggest golf person, but I will tell you that we got a chance to be there, I think 2 days. We were there for 2 of the days of the tournament back in 2018. What an atmosphere that was.
Yeah.
It really was a lot of fun. And if you weren't a golf fan going into it, it kind of made you one.
Yeah, and we've been pretty good to golf in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You think about the event that they have in Norwood Hills, the senior event that really has good attendance every year. You think about the major events that have come to St. Louis, they've all been well attended, and this one won't be any different, which means you think we can get a franchise?
Well, I would hope so.
That's the first thing when something happens in St. Louis. Hey, we're going to get in that league, you know.
We get an NBA team now?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, look, we got a great golf tournament. Look how many people showed up. Can we get an NBA team, please? I completely agree with you. No, seriously, can we? Can we get an NBA team, please?
I'd say pretty please. That would be my dream to have one.
How fun would that be?
I mean, I wonder, though, will the NBA expand in the United States anymore? I think they are bound to go overseas or maybe Mexico. But if they did decide to have a team in the United States, I would hope they would consider St. Louis. Now, the problem would be, you know, we've become so spoiled where we have to have our own arena. We can't share with the hockey team. You know, there's a handful of teams that still do it.
Yeah.
But a lot of these teams, they're in standalone buildings. I'm sure we can make it work, though.
I think
Enterprise Center is a very nice facility.
My guess is they would just, at least to start for the first several years, they would just play in that building.
That's fine. And it's a good building to play in. So
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
Bulls and Blackhawks do it. We can do it.
Can we work on that?
Man, I don't know. You know all the people.
Yeah. We need to have an owner, though. We need to have somebody that's a billionaire.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know any of those?
Not personally.
Okay.
Not well enough.
We need to get to work on that
Yeah,
part
okay.
then. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
Mike Claiborne, Chris Ranji with you on the Gashouse Gang. Feel free to check in at 314-436-7900. Do we still have tickets to give away? Okay.
Guns and Hoses.
Should we do it now?
That's the opening night of the holiday season, as far as I'm concerned.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, what about the Keener Plaza?
No, Guns and Hoses.
Starts
the safest building in St. Louis that particular night.
That's exactly right. Well, we have a pair of tickets to give away for Guns and Hoses November 26th at Enterprise Center. And you can win if you're caller number 3 to the contest line at 314-955-1120. The prize is presented by Backstoppers, and you must have a valid email address to win.
KMOX, celebrating 100 years. Presented by Purina. Your pet, our passion. Now, a KMOX pioneer.
For more than 3 decades, Bob Hardy was one of the most trusted and respected news voices on KMOX. Joining the station in 1960, Hardy anchored major breaking news, produced award-winning documentaries, and brought listeners unprecedented global coverage.
President George Bush is on his way to St. Louis right now aboard Air Force One. He's accepted an invitation to spend a few minutes with us here this morning on KMOX. Mr. President, welcome to St. Louis.
I'm looking forward to getting back there. We're at about 35,000 feet heading your way.
Calm, steady, and unshakable during the biggest stories of our time. Bob Hardy helped define KMOX's reputation as the station St. Louis turned to when it mattered most. Bob Hardy, a KMOX pioneer.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country. But Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families. ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
This holiday season, experience the power, the intensity, the legendary sound of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Coming to Enterprise Center for 2 shows, December 23rd at 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. A portion of the proceeds from the 3 p.m. show benefits Sightman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, 2 shows, Enterprise Center, December 23rd. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services in November. That means veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. Details on their website. Schedule your annual garage door tune-up before winter really sets in. Just call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Now back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Congratulations to Gail from Kirkwood and David from Highland, Illinois. Won tickets to see Guns N' Hoses. Maybe not together. I mean, they might.
Well, they might go together.
Maybe they'll become
you never
friends.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. So congrats to Gail and David.
It's a long drive for somebody though.
Highland is it's out there, man.
Yeah. It's the home of Ron Jacober.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yes.
I did not know that. Wow.
Who, you Johnny Carson now?
That's weird and wild. You're going to want to listen next week to the Gashouse Gang because we'll have winter warm-up tickets to give away. That's coming up January 17th.
Can't wait.
It's only 2 days this year.
I know. Well, I'll be on the caravan part of that time, so I kind of miss part of it.
January 17th and 18th. And speaking of baseball, this week, the Baseball Writers Association announced their Hall of Fame ballot for 2026 Claibs, and the results will be revealed on January 20th. So voting is ongoing now. Last year, Carlos Beltran came in with 70.3% of the vote. He is now on his 4th year on the ballot. Got to get to 75 to get in. I mean, this is likely it for him,
yeah,
right?
he's going to be in. I mean, his 2 years with the Cardinals, he was an all-star both years. As elegant of a professional athlete as I've ever been around. Now, I know people will talk about his time in Houston when he was coaching, but I'm looking at his performance on the field and how he carried himself. And what a heck of a switch hitter. I mean, that's the one thing I don't think people take into account, how good he was from both sides of the plate. He was a truly, in my opinion, at one point, a 5-tool player. There was nothing he couldn't do on the field. So I definitely think he should be in. I think Andrew Jones was the best center fielder in his era. I think he should be in. Now, everybody else we can probably go back and forth on, and that's fine. But I think those two guys should be in the Hall of Fame this year.
You know, I rarely anymore get too upset about the Hall of Fame, or at least I try not to, because it's always sort of annoyed me how the process goes.
Yeah.
Where you have, I mean, how can a guy be on the ballot for 10 years?
As if he was better last year.
Right. Either you're in or you're not.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
You know, and even if the Hall of Fame class, if just 1 year you have 12 people get in.
Put them in.
Great. Great.
Yeah,
12 people are in.
I agree with you where I'm trying to figure out, okay, let me get this straight. He hasn't played in at least 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on the ballot for probably 5 more years. And what made him good this year? I mean, and some people say, well, there were other guys who were deserving before him, and I get that. But I think once you're on the ballot, either you're in or you're not, and let's move on. Now, the problem, they'll say, well, we'll go through too many people too quickly. Well, you know what? So, yeah, exactly. You know what? Don't get me started on the whole voting process and some of the people who do it.
Oh, there's
that. I have another issue there.
We would talk about blank ballots.
Yeah, that and
that's my least favorite thing is turning in a blank ballot to make a statement.
Yeah,
like who do you think you are?
A writer?
You're just a writer.
Yeah,
and we appreciate you, writers.
Most of them. Yeah,
some really good ones out there.
Yeah, there's a few that can do without.
A lot of good ones, but what are we doing with the blank ballot?
I agree. I just make your statement in your own house, okay? Don't use some other vehicle. Don't waste
you can make whatever statement you want to, just not when it comes to Hall of Fame
This is
voting.
your job. Do your job.
It's exactly right. And here's another thing. It doesn't, I don't know what it is, but it feels like Albert should be eligible like next year, but it's still a long. He's 2028 when he's eligible.
Albert should have been eligible the day he quit playing.
I agree with you.
And I think that there are certain individuals in certain sports like, come
Just
on, man.
so automatic.
We're not going to wait. Just come on. Let's go.
That feels like a long time from now. 2028 feels like forever.
It is a long time. It is a long time.
And we forget he just quit playing not that long ago.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's a shoe-in. There's going to be some interesting conversations about some players down the road because a lot of them don't play as long. The numbers aren't as gaudy. I mean, are we going to see another 300-game winner in baseball? I doubt it.
No.
I don't know. We'll see another 3,000 hit guy for a while.
I think it's impossible to get another 300 win guy just because relievers are such a big part of the game now.
You know,
so
it's hard to find guys to get to 200, let alone 300.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And, you know, again, 3,000 hits is almost unheard of. Maybe I don't even know about 500 home runs now. I mean, you think about a guy like Pete Alonso. I mean, they get off to a late start, and normally these guys aren't as good on the back end. Now, the one thing that can save them, and save certainly Albert, is the DH. Now everybody has one, so we'll see where that takes the next level of players.
I think if I had to bet on the one streak that will never get broken, that's the one record, that's the Cal Ripken streak.
Yeah, I agree.
What, 21-30, 21-31,
whatever
lot. It is?
Yeah.
No one's ever going to play 2,100 games in a row ever again.
I think the two safest records in sports, Cal Ripken and Glenn Hall in hockey, 502 consecutive games. Nobody's going to do that.
What you got this weekend?
Events around town.
That's right. A lot of musical awards tomorrow.
That's not one of them, but yeah, events around town. I'll just be.
You're floating around.
If you see a guy in a tuxedo tomorrow afternoon, that might be me.
Oh.
Not getting married or anything.
Okay, well.
No breaking news today.
Just let me know where. I'll get my tux. I'll meet you.
Yeah, that would start a rumor.
Mike Claiborne, Chris Ranji, thanks to Matt Pauley. We appreciate you listening. Anything you missed is on the Odyssey app or YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you get your podcast. We will be back on Monday at 12 o'clock. Gashouse Gang on KMOX. Dave Glover is next.
Hey there, it's Steven, the owner of the Photo Pros, formerly Creve Coeur Camera. Each day,